Hey neighbor, welcome back to ARTV. I'm John, and I want to talk about 20 albums I'm super excited and hopeful to hear in 2022. At this point, it should go without saying that hype can affect perspective both positively or negatively, so I try not to play into it too much. But that doesn't mean that we can't be excited about music together, and I wanted to share some, not all, of the records that I'm looking forward to. TLDR update for those who don't make it to the end of the video, I'm doing something called 30 going on 13 this year, because the channel's turning 13, I just turned 30, and I'm only reviewing 30 albums in 2022 for the sake of my mental health. Basically, I'll be focusing less on listening to and reviewing tons of current albums. I've been doing this for so long, and there's other things that I want to create, both on this channel and over on my movie and TV channel, The Missing Frame. More on that later, but please don't be sad. I promise it's a positive thing, but that's not why you came. You're here to see what albums we can look forward to hearing in 2022, so hit that like button and let's get to it. I know I'm shooting a flare up in the middle of a desert on this one, but if that's what it takes to manifest a new album from the British indie trio, then so be it. Several of the members have commented that the bones are slowly being laid down and that this could be a much more confident moonbeam from them, so perhaps we'll finally see the XX in color in 2022. I've had Pierce the Veil on my anticipated list a few times since their last record in 2016, and they fooled me once, fooled me twice, but the cards are finally lining up that I shan't be fooled thrice because they've actually been posting updates showing studio progress, meaning their long-delayed fifth album is finally getting that much closer to being heard. An even more personal sophomore album is on the way from the genre-fluid RINA Sawayama, and I for one cannot fucking wait to get my ears all over this. Her debut is all over the map, but one thing stayed consistent the entire time: RINA's vision. John motherfucking Frusciante, baby. Let it happen. Just let it out of the bag, boys. I know you got Rick Rubin tied up in the studio basement under the threat of not letting anything leak, but it's time to give up the gun. We've waited patiently for 6 years. This is yet again their longest gap between records, but if it's anything like the last time that John came back to the Chili Peppers, we're in for one hell of a later career wake-up call that's sure to reward our longer than anticipated wait time. Dude, nice! FJM is back in the lounge, probably smoking in the corner with a stiff drink in hand. It's been too long since I've heard this man's brand of ironic, depressed humanity. And the lead single is actually really fantastic, so I'm gonna be waiting with arms wide open, just as Creed would have intended. Not one, but 2 solo albums from the music god Jack White? I bit on the bullet before he could even pull the trigger. Thank you, you absolute madman. It seems like Entering Heaven Alive is gonna be more stripped back, while the first release, Fear of the Dawn, will set its sights on all things electric. Jack got even more hands-on than ever during the pandemic-fueled creative process, which is definitely saying something for him. So naturally, I'm pining away like a dog in heat over here. I've heard the 2 singles that are out, and they're masterful in very different ways. Kung Fu Kenny is set to swing away on his final album with Top Dog Entertainment. I'm just holding my breath that he's not too late for the tee-off because it's been a long wait and I am starving for content. KENDRICK's shown so much versatility in his limited appearances since Damn, so I have no clue what exactly to expect, but that's a huge part of why I'm so damn interested. He's not predictable and he never makes the same record twice. Oh, you thought you were sad before the pandemic? That's cute. Spanish Love Songs got my album of the year 2020, and it came out right before things got even more insane. So to know that they're back in the studio cranking out the catharsis of the past 2 years, buckle up, we're headed for a cliff. MITSKI is returning with her first album in almost 4 years, and the singles have me really intrigued. Her approach to honesty within her music has always sounded refreshing, but it's the way she parts the sea almost like it's a gentle tide that's kept me on the line since I fell in love with Be the Cowboy. Laurel Hell drops February 4th, so if you're already aboard the hype train, let me know what your favorite single was, because personally, even though this could change, I think it's gotta be the only heartbreaker for me. I can't believe this band hasn't blown up. I'm seriously so bummed because Microwave continuously churns out killer records, but it's almost like all of the hype died out after Much Love, even though Death is a Warm Blanket is fucking fantastic. Whatever, more for us in the know, I guess. But in case you missed the good news, the boys are back in town with a new album coming down the pipeline later this year, and I'm wondering, is it going to lean more into their heavier, scream-fueled sound, or is it going to be a combination of everything that they've done up to this point? How has it been this long? My life is flashing before my eyes at the thought of After Laughter turning 5, but Paramore are officially dropping an album this year, and according to Hayley Williams, it's gonna focus way more on guitars than the last one. That is totally a-okay with me, especially since they've mentioned wanting to revisit early influences of the band without repeating themselves. There's no reason to doubt Paramore, and I have a sneaking suspicion that this longer than expected gap is gonna be made whole upon the album's full arrival. Most of you have probably heard me mention this New Zealand alternative sibling duo at some point in the last 7 years, but if not, hey, here's a really underappreciated band that have a new album, Space Island, out on February 18th, and the singles are once again leading me to believe that magic is in the air. It's a new year, and rapper Denzel Curry is already teasing a brand new era. He won me over with his genre-bending Taboo and kept me hooked with cuts from Zoo and Unlocked featuring Kenny Beats, so the notion of a new wave with his signature agility has me stoked for this new era to begin. After the departure of drummer Matt Tong, I kinda felt like Block Party was maybe over, but Kelly and company pulled a 180 on us with the announcement of a new record and the blistering return to form single, Traps. All I can say is welcome back to the show, Dance Punk is alive again, fingers crossed that Alpha Games can keep this kind of momentum going forward. Baltimore dream pop duo Beach House went the unconventional route for the release of their new full-length record Once Twice Melody, releasing it in chapters before unveiling the final product. I'm choosing to go into this totally blind. I haven't heard a single note from this album, and I don't plan to until the full record releases on February 18th. They pretty much always take you on a journey with their full-length records, and they're one of my favorite bands, and of course this is a double album, so I can't wait to go full-on Interstellar mode as their gentle rhythms carry me away into a sea of music. Confirmation has come from multiple sources that the Arctic Monkeys are back in business, hard at work on a 7th album that might possibly already be finished. They're in my top 10 favorite bands. What do you want me to say, okay? Of course I'm thrilled. Alex Turner is one of the coolest frontmen of all time, and with age comes wisdom, so I'm expecting some irony and agony dropped on me like an anvil, but hopefully with more guitars in the mix this time. Rumor has it that Death Cab are gearing up for a new album, which would mark their first full-length since, I think, 2018, and I like that last one, although people have consistently given them shit since Chris Walla left the band, but I don't really see the problem. They've been a reliable steam engine of an indie-adjacent machine, never straying too far off the beaten path, but always putting their hearts into whatever they create, and as long as that foundation remains unshakable, count me in for LP 10. This one isn't confirmed, but here's me hoping for the stars to align, because Basement fucking rule. Their records rarely sail over the half-hour mark, but the way they blend emo, grunge, and alternative rock sounds so good. Basement crush it time and time again, and I'm anxiously awaiting their first new music of the 2020s. American football planted a flag on the new year by dropping new music in December leading into 2022, basically to ensure that we had a very pleasant emo-filled holiday season, but also to signal that activity is brewing in their camp, even with longtime drummer Steve Lamos exiting the band. The dark ambient gloom they packaged so neatly continues to defy expectations, and if Mike Kinsella's writing continues to be this sharp, I think it's appropriate to say that they're aging like a fine wine. Even if we don't get a full album this year, something tells me that we're gonna see new music before the end of 2022. MUSE broke the cycle of dropping an album every 3 years, understandable since I'm sure COVID played at least a small part in that delay, but now we're actually here, and I'm really feeling enthusiastic about the next chapter after the incredibly wonky Simulation Theory just kinda notched my expectations down. They put out the lead single Won't Stand Down right as I was finishing up this video, and I'm really digging it for the most part, and if we know anything about MUSE at all, it's that they don't always know how to put their best foot forward, so I wouldn't doubt that the album has some even better, heavier tracks that sound more in line with classic MUSE. I am slightly worried about Chris being separated from the other members Dom and Matt while he's still living in the UK, they're in LA. It's been a while since we got some truly great and memorable bass lines from him, and he's normally a stud when it comes to that sort of thing. So just tear into it, dudes, go for it, make the crowd go wild, reverse course, and don't let some of the recent mediocrity send you into a permanent downward spiral. Thank you so much for watching my most anticipated albums list. Let me know down below, what records are you super excited to hear? And stick around for just a minute because we've got a quick channel update if you're willing to hear me out about this whole 30 going on 13 project. So I came up with this idea as a way to save myself from the mental prison I feel like I've locked myself in over time, as if I have to hear all of these albums and play the game of keeping up with every current release the same week that it comes out, which obviously isn't possible, but I tried to be that for years. And it's like swimming against the current on the edge of a waterfall. I'm only reviewing 30 albums throughout the channel's 13th year, and I won't even be hearing that many new ones beyond what I review, although I'm not gonna say that number publicly since it's more of a range that I want to stay in. There's content from video essays to episodes of 7 on Sunday to Ranked that I just haven't been able to explore because I really just haven't had the time because of new releases, and even roundup shows that I've hosted in the past like the Album Awards. They're great ideas on paper, but they eat up so much of my time that I just kind of get lost in the process, and I need to make a change. I also officially launched my movies/TV/nostalgia channel, The Missing Frame. Yes, it's named after the AFI song, you know I had to tie it into music somehow. But no, I invite you to subscribe over there as I get the ball rolling. I'm super excited about some of the ideas that I've been working on. I just want to have a good time with a passion of mine that I've been suppressing for way too long, so join me on the road to 10K subs over on The Missing Frame. I think that's everything for today, neighbors. Thank you so much for your endless support that you've shown me as a small creator that makes a living on YouTube. Without you guys, I am nothing. So I just wanted to float it out there that I am very grateful, and I hope you enjoy what's in store for this year. You can check out a recent review here or a video on my other channel over here, and I'll be back soon for more on ARTV.